Do not attempt to adjust your computer. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. My name is Dobie Maxwell, also known as the King of Uranus, and this is the Mothership Connection. To my right, flying sidecar, the lovely and talented Greg DeGuire, super geek, and I mean that in a friendly and a customer service kind of way.
I'll take it.
Carrie is to the left, our tech person, female aspect of the show, and all around the younger generation representative.
We'll call her our Millennial Falcon.
Millennial Falcon. Love it.
I love it.
Outstanding. And this is Al, the alien. He's our good friend, our mascot here in the Mothership Connection. This is our second episode. We're trying to get back in the flow, and we have a lot of regular listeners from our radio show on WLIP in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We also have new listeners and viewers, and we're really glad that you're here. So what we want to do is kind of get to know us a little bit as your co-hosts now. We have a lot of other people that are fringe co-hosts that'll be regulars and semi-regulars who want to introduce you to the cast and who we are, and hopefully we'll get to know you at some point in the future when we do live broadcast. But we got to talk a little bit in our last episode, and it's totally viewable if you want to go check that out, about meeting your heroes. Everybody's got heroes, someone that you admire, whether it's an actor or actress or sports person or whoever, politician, I don't know. Are politicians anybody's heroes? I don't know about that. Not my heroes.
No.
If it was
Not
Leslie Knows, maybe. If she, like,
Yeah.
Actors maybe?
Although I
Yeah.
did, I mean, not that he was a hero, but I did meet a politician. I met then Governor Tommy Thompson. Years ago when I was in high school, I wrote an essay about local government, and I won a trip to Madison, and we got a chance to tour the governor's mansion, and he happened to be home. He's a tall guy. I mean, he's got to be pushing, I mean, I'm not very tall. He had to be pushing 6'8", 6'7". I mean,
Wow.
Governor Tommy Thompson was a big fella. So I
It's
mean,
the governor's mansion. It's his house, right?
that's where he lived.
And
That's
then
his residence.
walk around in his underwear with a
Well, they
cold
had
drink in his hand.
now they had special, they had gated off special tourist place to where things that were donated to the estate years ago as part of Wisconsin tradition and history. So those things you got to see. Where he kicks his feet up, where his recliner and easy chair. We didn't get to
So
I
see.
it's
think
like-
I'd rather see that.
Yeah, right. So it's like
Yeah.
Graceland. You can't go to the bathroom.
I was hoping, because one of my all-time favorite films is Blazing Saddles. I was hoping he was wearing a sport coat in the back that said Gov. Like Mel Brooks, when he was the governor, in the back of his coat always said Gov. So it didn't work out that way. But as far as politicians go, I met one, and he was okay by me.
Now, the heroes. Did you have a list of heroes, or did you just have to meet someone and say, "Yeah, I've always admired you"?
I never really had. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess as far as list of heroes, if I ever got to meet anyone from the Star Wars universe, I would have called that a win.
Have you?
And I have met one person from the Star Wars universe, and I met him at the Wheaton All Night Flea Market a couple of years ago. Felix Silla. Hope I'm saying his
That would
name
have been
right.
my first choice.
Yeah. Well, he played an Ewok in Return of the Jedi.
And this wasn't planned.
This wasn't planned. I didn't know he was going to be there,
Okay.
but I was there helping run a booth. So I met him. But more importantly, he was cousin It on the Addams Family.
The new Addams Family.
No, the TV show Addams Family. He was the little guy. He's a little guy. Yeah, the little furry feller. Yeah, he was in the original Addams Family TV
Have
show.
you seen that in the original Addams Family?
Yes, I have.
Because most people, the millennial generation, and lower,
They've always seen the 90s.
right? And they don't want to see the
Yeah.
black and white
Yeah,
shows.
no. So, but he was also in that Twiki costume from Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers.
In the 25th century.
Yeah.
So he was cool. He was a nice guy. And then I also met John Ratzenberger. Now he's not necessarily known
Cliff
for being
Clavin?
in the Star. Yeah, Cliff Clavin. That's what he's known for. But he was in the Star Wars universe. He was in The Empire Strikes Back. Oh, what
Was
the?
he?
His name was Lieutenant. Oh God, the name is escaping me. But he had
Darth
a-
Clavin.
Darth Clavin. He had a cup of coffee on Hoth. And the scene where, right before Hoth gets invaded by the Imperials, Princess Leia is giving the speech as far as there'll be 2 X-Wings per transport. She's given, the general thing. And there's the character goes, all right, everyone to your stations, let's go. That's him. He has a cup of coffee on Hoth. You blink, you miss him. But he was there. So, I met him at C2E2 last year. And he sounded exactly how you would expect John Ratzenberger to sound. He sounded like Cliff Clavin. Said, how you doing there, Chief? What do you want me to sign there, Chief? Kept calling me Chief. Like, that's Cliff Clavin.
Very good.
That was
I
pretty
saw
cool.
him in person.
Yeah.
Who are your heroes? Who did you meet?
I've met a lot of people actually at C2E2, and I feel like it'd be more fun to meet them randomly, like you met
Right.
Felix.
Yeah.
I met a couple people from Game of Thrones, but that was planned. So I mean, you're looking forward to it. And
But a meet is a meet.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
celebrities are fun. I met Jason Momoa and Oh, I forgot his name. I'll figure it out later. But I don't remember. Finn Jones. He's going to be the new Iron Fist in Marvel.
Nice.
But I do have one hero, and I have met him twice now, and it's Ben Folds. He's my favorite musician, singer. He was in a 90s band called Ben Folds 5.
Now, I was told since I was a young boy, never trust a person whose name is a sentence.
Really?
Ben Folds. That's a sentence.
Yeah, it's funny.
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons. Exactly right.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
Or never play pool with a man named after a state, like Indiana
That's a good one.
or Philadelphia, or named after a city or whatever.
Never trust a woman who's named after a month or a precious gemstone.
January.
Here's my friend April. Don't trust her. It's okay.
Amethyst.
Garnet.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And never buy a TV from a man who's out of breath.
Good point. That's a good
So
point.
you met Ben
Jackie
Folds?
Stone. Yes, I did. It was by chance because the first time I saw him in concert, he was playing with the Chicago Youth Symphony Orchestra. And afterwards, a group of us went to Walgreens. We're like, well, we're just going to go home now. And then as we were passing by, there was the dark alleyway, as one would see, behind the Chicago Theater. We're like, we'll check it out. We'll see if he's there. He came out and got his autograph, and now I have it as a tattoo on my shoulder. So
Very nice.
Wow, very impressive.
That's
I think
cool.
that's something that your generation is into is tattoos.
Yeah, not me.
Do you
I
have any?
they're
No.
artistic. I think they're nice.
I just picture the old folks home, 55 years from now.
Sagging and
Yeah, exactly. My father was a biker. He wrote of the Outlaws, and he had a godly amount of tattoos. And I thought it was stupid as a child. And I don't judge anybody.
Right.
But I was, if I had money in my pocket, you want to see my tattoo? There. There's money.
right.
It costs a lot, but hey, God bless you. I spend
They
money
do.
on stupider
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, I've often thought of getting one, but at the end of the day, I don't really have the type of body that should be showing off lots of skin for tattoos
I've seen
anyway. So
I've seen other people.
I guess
look like
maybe I
Charles
have a little bit
Atlas.
more shame than that, but yeah, nothing against tattoos, just not my personal thing.
yeah, that's everyone's preference.
It's everyone's preference. I wonder if aliens can get tattoos or have them.
I would imagine. I mean, depending on how their skin is attached to their
Some
bodies,
cool
I guess.
alien tribal tattoos, though. How cool would that
Yeah,
be?
I bet it would be
Let's
very.
tattoo this little guy now.
Oh, Al? Okay, what do you?
What do you
just-
want?
I don't know.
That just reminded me of something that we used to do on the show all the time, is to get my Captain America notebook. Band names. We just had one. Alien tribal tattoo.
Yeah,
Good.
if a phrase comes along that Greg thinks is going to be a name for a band, and we would do it, and we'd be talking about the strangest, obscure topics, and Greg would say, "Oh, band name," and he wrote them down, and you have to have a couple hundred by the time we ended the show.
I have
Do you want
many,
to-
and I'll bring that list out in other episodes to have a nice walk back down memory lane.
We will put it up online so you can see it, and if you hear us say something that you say is a band name, send it to us, and we'll put it in.
Because sometimes we can't catch them up. But I always say, I'd wear that shirt, because I always have like a lot of concert shirts.
Mhm.
If I had a concert shirt that said Alien Tribal Tattoo on tour coming to Summerfest next year,
I'd
I'd
see
wear
him.
I'd wear that shirt.
You know what we should do is if a band's getting started, we should say, okay, here's our list of names.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You want to buy one,
Right. Copyright him.
copyright them. That'll
Now,
be-
I met Sergeant Slaughter.
the
that was-
wrestler.
The wrestler, but that was planned. That was at C2E2. I knew he was going to be there. But as far as one of my idols, because I grew up watching G.I. Joe cartoons. And he was, of course, the voice of himself, Sergeant Slaughter, in the G.I. Joe cartoons. Not necessarily, I mean, I knew he was a wrestler, but his voice, because I was so into G.I. Joe, I've got his action figure, I've got everything. And I met him, and I had him sign. He was the lead voice on the G.I. Joe cartoon movie. That was out maybe in 87. So I still have I have the DVD of that movie, and I had him sign the cover. I took the thing out of the plastic, had him sign. He wrote Addie Greg at ease, Yo Joe. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Was he friendly or did he just sign it?
Very friendly. He is a large man. He's a tall dude with a giant face.
Now, I will say this: when I was a kid, wrestling was one of my favorite things on TV. If I'm a geek, it's fun to watch. This is old school wrestling. It's completely different than it's today.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Slaughter, his name is Bob Remus, and he
I didn't even know that was his name.
Trained in Minnesota by a wrestler named Vern Gagne, who was an old-time wrestler,
Hmm.
and he played a character. He came out as a Sergeant Bob Slaughter when he first came into the territory. When I was a kid, I remember seeing him, and they billed him as from St. Louis, Missouri. Then you didn't see him anymore, and then there was a gentleman who really was from England named Lord Alfred Hayes, who brought a wrestler in called the Super Destroyer. Okay, and the Super Destroyer was a big masked guy who had worked all over the world, and he ended up leaving, and they brought in the Super Destroyer Mark II, who's actually Bob Slaughter, aka Sergeant Slaughter. He's got a chin about 14 blocks.
He's got
long.
a, yeah, if you ever, again, I'm going to bring up Family Guy again. If anyone watches Family Guy, you know the character Quagmire. Quagmire has like a weirdly shaped big chin. They must have got that from Sergeant Slaughter.
Jay Leno,
Sergeant Slaughter.
too.
Jay-
Sergeant got a
they
big
have
old
a
chin.
Very
really
prominent.
big prominent
So
chin.
they build him as the Super Destroyer Mark II from the island of Gibraltar. Because it sounds like if they said he was from South Minneapolis,
Yeah,
it doesn't
nobody
sound
cares.
really
Yeah.
cool. And he had a mask on, and he never talked. He's this big guy, and he would fold his arms. And Lord Alfred Hayes would talk in an English accent, coming to Milwaukee with the beer-swilling oafs and the blue-collar dirt under the fingernails, and Slaughter just like that. And as a kid, we went down there to spend our money to see him to get that mask ripped off.
Yeah.
And it's just such a psychological, and he got it from here to here to here. And then every match, he'd get a little bit, an inch or two higher, but you never saw his face.
Huh.
And for years, we would go down there, and the Crusher was the hometown hero, and he would fight. He'd call him the Super Dummy. So the Dummy and the Super Dummy would go down there. And I always wanted to meet Sergeant Slaughter because that was such a wonderful gimmick. And I know now, we'll talk about wrestling too, pro wrestling.
Oh, we'll get there. Yeah.
The good guy, the bad guys in the ring are always the nicest guys. If you had children, you leave. The Super Destroyer would watch your kids. Captain America, that's the one to watch out for. That's the felon. That's the person that is bad. And so I always wanted to meet Sergeant Slaughter. So you met one of my heroes. I'd love to meet him.
Sergeant Slaughter was super, super cool. I was very happy to meet him.
Cool.
And then years previous, I met Dee Wallace
She was on a show.
at a convention. Yeah, and because I met her, it was at ZombieCon.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Milwaukee. I want to say 2010, something like 2009.
Yeah.
It was before I was on. It was before I was on the show, and I got a special pass where you can hang out with the stars after hours, more or less. So you had access to them before, during, and afterwards for little like meet and greets. She was so cool. But again, the stars that were gonna be there. And another side story I get to, Tom Atkins and Charles Cypher. These two guys were in the original Halloween. Tom Atkins also was in a MASH episode, season 10. I know that one off the top of my head. Charles Cypher was also in the Major League movie, but they were famously known for being in the first Halloween movie.
What was he in the Major League movie?
Charles Cypher was the team president, the old guy with the buzz cut.
Oh, yeah.
He played the team president. He was...
That poo-pooed the
Yep. He was the sheriff in the
Yeah.
original Halloween movie. But anyways, these two fellers are in the bar. The action for you kids always happens in the bar afterwards. If you're of legal drinking age and you go to a con or a convention, whatever, and there's a local watering hole next door, that's where you want to be. So the hotel that this convention was at, afterwards, I'm like, well, I might as well go grab a drink. And there was Tom Atkins and Charles Cypher just sitting there watching TV. Now, they were, at the time, the Twins were in the playoffs. It was the Twins versus Yankees, Major League Baseball playoffs. And Charles is rooting for the Twins. I'm like, well, that's weird coming from the Indians team president. You're rooting for the Twins. He goes, yeah, Major League. So we started talking about movies in Major League and stuff. And he says, so you're a fan of the movie in Major League? I said, Charles, yes. I used to watch Major League daily. I can tell you your lines. He's like, you're full of beans. It's like, if you can tell me 2 or 3 of my lines, you're drinking free for the night. So that was easy pie. So I gave him his lines, and I drank free. Tom Atkins was sitting next to him. And Tom's like, well, do you know my lines? I said, Tom, I got to tell you, I know your lines from MASH. I can't tell you your lines from Halloween. He was also in The Fog. He's been in. He was the bad guy in Lethal Weapon. He was Mr. Huntsacker, and his daughter jumped off the hotel in the beginning of the film.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, I know your lines from MASH. It's like, there's no. Bull, he says. If you do that, then you'll be double drinking for free. So, of course, I went through his lines from MASH, and I drank a lot that night, free from those two guys.
And the compound rent payments have been made since 2010.
Well, and
courtesy of Greg Geekdom.
They said that, you know more about us than our agent does. I said, well, who's your agent? It's a friend of a friend of a friend whose kid needed a favor getting in the business, so the kid's their agent. So I said, well, how does one get to be a Hollywood agent? I said, well, I just opened up an establishment in California. This is the thing. So, if we didn't know any better, we'd dump this guy and you could be our agent. Folks, I was that close to being an agent for 2 aged Hollywood stars that I have a lot of respect
probably
for.
Still could.
I probably still could, but we both come to the realization, we had a couple drinks. No good deal is ever made in a bar while drinking. That was the policy they lived by, and I respect that wholeheartedly. But I was that close.
It's really hard to be a celebrity. You hear so many stories about celebrities a jerk.
Oh yeah,
they're
no.
good people too.
Sure they are.
And sometimes they're jerks, and sometimes they're not. I had a
Yeah.
situation. I was on a radio station in Salt Lake City, and to make a long story longer, like I usually do, our newswoman on the show, her husband was the news producer of Fox 13 morning show.
Okay.
So every time a guest would cancel, let's put Dobie in a flaming suit or some kind, and so we did a makeover, fashion makeover. And she called up and said, look, the guest canceled for tomorrow. Could you go to the mall? They got the clothing there for you. They're going to give you a haircut on the show and clothing. It's about $350 on your credit card, but you go take it back right after the show. So we did the whole thing, and they made me look like a gay space alien or whatever. Whatever. And I took it back, at night, and I said, I'd like to get my refund. Well, you wore these clothes. Well, I know when I was on the show, I wore them. I walked literally 10 feet out. I took them back out. We can't give you the money. So I tried to be nice and tried to be extra. So can I talk to someone else? So the other person comes out, talk to that for 20 minutes. Finally, can I please talk to the system manager? Finally, the store manager gets out there after an hour and a half of trying to be the nicest guy in the world. And I admit, I popped. And I said some things I shouldn't say. And I got in their face, and it was about a good 30-second rant. And I got my money back, and it was very tense and silent. And then I got an email the next day when I got to the radio station and said, I could tell by your voice, because I liked your show, and you seemed like such a nice guy on the radio. I heard you yelling at that clerk last night. I was in the store, and I'll never listen to your show again.
Oh, boy.
And I got on the air, and I said, you know what? You're right. I did yell at that clerk. And it wasn't right that I did that. And it doesn't matter that it took a full hour and a half of trying to be friendly and just quiet. And I did. But you never know if you're a celebrity that you could be in a position where someone looks at you and said, that's a jerk.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a tough life. Not everybody can handle it.
That's why I always shows like TMZ that I always get like the paparazzi. They always get in these guys' face as soon as they walk off airplanes or walk out of a restaurant. They get the camera in the face. That's not fair. So I mean, not that I approve of celebrities beating photographers, but man, I get it. I get it. Give them their space, man. I mean, I realize you want the shot or the picture or the story,
Or to twist the story of what's not really
exactly.
happening.
But think of it: if you get off a 3-hour air flight, do you want someone throwing a camera in your face? No, but that's what happens to these poor people. I'm sorry.
I had a good experience, and I don't know why I didn't say this one first, but I was at Comic-Con. It was my first ever event going to one, and this was 2014. So I was going with my buddies, and we were all driving there. We're like, oh, how cool would it be to meet Stan Lee, like the king of comics?
Yeah, he was.
So we get to see Comic-Con, and, we're chilling for a couple hours. We go upstairs. We met up with the second group we were with, and all of a sudden, someone behind us just whispers, that's Stan Lee coming our way right now. And we're all like, no, it can't be real. So in this little go-kart with 3 bodyguards around him is him coming to the bathroom we were standing by, and he took a piss right next to my friend, and he comes out of the bathroom on his knees, and he's just sitting there. He was speechless. He didn't think this was ever going to happen. So.
I think I asked you this off air before. Did he get Stan Lee's splashback on him at the urinal?
I don't know.
Because I would never wash those pants ever again. I wouldn't. I'm just saying.
I got a bathroom story.
Go for it.
That's one thing versus another. I was working at a radio station, The Loop, in Chicago. It was a morning show, and there's a Hollywood show where the celebrities come, and Lou Ferrigno was there, and all kinds of people. Daisy Duke, Catherine Bach.
Nice.
I had a magazine, Cracked. It's like an offshoot of Mad, and it's from the 70s, and there's a picture of all the Dukes of Hazzard cast members on it. And I had said I wanted you to have this, Catherine, because I just think you're the best. And she gave me a hug and a kiss and said, you're great. It's wonderful. That alone made my life right there. Daisy Duke gives you a hug and a kiss on the
That's
lips.
it. Call it a day.
So we were at a little horseshoe table, and we're sitting like this, and it's around. And behind there is Adam West, Batman, Frank Gorshin, the Riddler, and some of the other ones who were still alive. I know Frank Gorshin was there at the time, and Adam West. And I think that's my hero as a kid, my generation. And I wanted to talk to him, and I didn't know what to say. And I'm thinking, okay, we're from the radio station. We're kind of in the same thing. I won't say anything at all. So I had to go to the bathroom. So I didn't even think about it. So an hour later, I get to the men's room, and Adam West comes up to the men's room. It's both of us. There's no one else around. And he pushes the door, and it's locked. The men's room is locked. And I thought I'm being this witty person, and I said, holy no shit, Batman. And he looked at me like I was gum on his shoe. How dare you talk to me, you little squirrel. And so we both walked away and didn't go to the bathroom. And I thought,
nice.
My heart is absolutely crushed that Batman didn't like it. So then we got back to around there, and Frank Gorshin showed up. So I said, Mr. Gorshin, I just wanted to know that I'm a stand-up comedian, and he's from Pittsburgh. And one of the first road gigs I ever did was Pittsburgh at a club called the Funny Bone. And I went up to him. He couldn't have been any nicer. And I said, "Oh, you've been to Pittsburgh? That's great." And I said, "Well, I have a comedy CD. I'd really like to give it to you. You don't have to listen to it. You can scrape your car with it. You know, put a beverage coaster." But he said, "Oh, no, I'll listen. I love comedians." And I said, I got off to a little bad start with Mr. West. He goes, "Oh, don't worry, but he'll be nice. Go talk to him again." So I took a CD. I said, "Mr. West, I'm really sorry about what happened there. And I just want to say that I'm a stand-up comedian. And I've been to Walla Walla, Washington, because that's his hometown."
Okay.
And I said, "I just stopped. I got out of my car and went downtown only because it's your hometown." He's like, "You went to Walla Walla because of me? And this is your CD? I'm going to listen to this." And he could not. He totally turned. Could not have been any nicer. I don't know if he listened to it or not, but it totally made up for that horrible situation, which I wanted to hang myself. Like, running the alien body.
I think any of us would have done that, though. Well,
I was pretty happy with myself to come up with that funny ad lib, what I thought was funny, and he did not find it funny at all.
That's a good one, yeah.
Oh, Bobby the Brain Heenan, the wrestling manager.
Oh, yeah.
If you know who that is.
I know who that
He was
is.
always notorious for being the bad guy in the ring, but it's very nice outside of the ring. And I knew a person that he wrestled with. So it's like, "Oh, hey, I know Greg, I know Kerry." You know, so I went up to, "Yeah, I know so-and-so. He's not my friend. I don't know who told you that. I don't like him. That son of, you don't
That's
ever tell me."
great.
And I'm really sorry, Mr. Heenan. No, that guy's a jerk. Stay away from him. I'm sorry, Mr. Heenan. Did you sign the autograph? And I won't. So yeah, he was not friendly.
Oh my.
So that's what happens. When you meet sometimes they say don't meet your heroes because you don't want to. They're humans and they're flawed and human just like the rest of us.
So I've met at the ZombieCon in Milwaukee. I mean, I met a fair few people there. I also met Sid Haig. His career was turned around with the Rob Zombie movies. He was in Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween. He was also in The Devil's Rejects, in A House of a Thousand Corpses. But Sid's career goes way back. The first thing he did was on television in a little show called Gunsmoke. That's where Sid started. He's also been in episodes of Star Trek, the original series. He's been around. He did a lot of these blaxploitation films with, now her name is escaping me, but
Pam Grier.
Pam Grier. He did all the movies with Pam Grier. He played the part of a judge in Tarantino's Jackie Brown. So he's been around.
And Pam Grier was in Jackie Brown.
Pam Grier's Jackie Brown. So he's been around. He's seen some things and done some stuff. Super cool guy. I had him sign a bunch of stuff. But me being the total geek nerd that I was, I watched all the behind the scenes of the DVDs. So I knew the lines that he ad-libbed during the Rob Zombie movies. I said, "Sid, can you sign that line on this page?" It was, "Why that line?" Because that line was ad-libbed. It was not in the original script. But the day of filming, you kind of blurted it out and said, "Oh, well, that's not, why don't we use that instead?" All right, well, let's, boom. It's like he said, "How do you know that?" It's on the behind the scenes of the DVD. He goes, "Damn, I don't remember." Wow, yeah, here you go. Thanks, pal. Then there was also Scout Taylor Compton. She was at the same convention. She was in Rob Zombie's remake Halloween movies. She was also in the film The Runaways. She played Lita Ford in the Runaways film from a couple of years back. Anyways, they had old Halloween versus new Halloween. They had a whole generational. So they had so she was on the stage for this Q&A, and someone from the audience asked, "Scout, how did you get the film? How'd you get the part?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't remember." And I raised my hand. "Hey, you have a question?" I said, "No, I can answer her question." "Well, how do you know?" I said, "Well, because during your screen test, you could scream bloody murder on command, and you could cry on command. And the way that you gave the lines while crying sold you the part." Rob was sold right then and there. That's how he got the part. She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "How do you know that?" Nobody here watched the entirety of the DVD of the film. I mean, it's all right there. I mean, Rob Zombie loves extras on DVDs. By God, there was a 45-minute long clip montage of all this. Nobody watched that? Or maybe I'm the weirdo, but I thought that was... So yeah, I mean, I'm one of those weird oddballs that watches not just the movie, but commentary.
Well, if you're going to buy the DVD or you're going to have it, why not watch it?
That's the point, because VHS didn't have the coming attractions or special features, nothing. That was the whole brilliancy of DVDs, special features.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yes, Easter eggs, oh
To
plenty.
go above and beyond what you just watched, and then
Yeah.
you can use that
Yeah.
little,
And
trivia like that.
real quick to take your line to make a long story longer.
We do that a lot on the show.
We do that a lot.
So that's part of what we do.
Days of the Dead in Chicago, another con. This was not this past November, the November before last. I met the original bass player from White Zombie. She was a female. Her name is escaping me, but I've got the special White Zombie like 5-disc box set. So I brought the booklet inside to have her sign that. So she signed in that, and I said, you may not remember, but I remember one of the first things you guys did is before Jon Stewart had the Daily Show, he had a show on MTV called The Jon Stewart Show. And one of his first episodes, White Zombie was the musical guest of that show. So furthermore, when the Sega Genesis game system came out, there was a fighting game that White Zombie had the explicit soundtrack for that entirety of the game. So and each track came with a character. So if you picked a character, you got to hear that song while you fought with that character. And she's like, I barely remember Jon Stewart. She's like, did you just watch this stuff yesterday? No, it's kind of, I'm an oddball that way. The stuff sticks in my craw and I can't get it out. Because of that, she was selling stage-used guitar picks. So instead of selling me one, she gave me one for reminding her of days gone by from all the crap that stuck in my head.
And it's somewhere in the compound, an Easter egg. But if you ever get a chance to visit, Greg will show you where that is.
I'll show you the guitar pick. I have it to this day.
But you still don't have Harrison Ford's autograph.
How about Tennessee Ernie Ford?
No.
How about George Harrison?
No, well, that would be a get right there. Getting a Beatle, yeah, that'd be a get. I mean, that was one of our topics too. Beatles or Elvis, wasn't it? You couldn't be both, or you had to be one. But all the weirdness that the Beatles.
That's a generational thing.
That's a generational thing.
Yeah.
Plus the whole Beatles conspiracy theory too, with the death of Paul McCartney. I used to love talking about that one.
We will talk about
Yes.
that again. Maybe
I heard that one.
Have you heard that one?
No.
There's a rumor that
that'd
Paul
be good.
McCartney was dead. He died
Yes.
in a car wreck, allegedly. And they got a twin double to play
Oh.
him.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
And they put clues on the record. We'll get into it.
And real quick, the name of the double that got the part, his name was William Campbell. Google away, youngsters. It's
Will
good
do.
stuff, yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, interesting stuff. If there's a conspiracy that Greg's never heard of, I find that to be a conspiracy in itself.
Well put. Yeah, I've got
Let's
a whole
research that.
yeah,
Yes, exactly.
got a whole bevy of new conspiracy theories that I'm aching to talk about.
We are the Mothership Connection. We're going to end episode number 2 right now. We're going to get to know each other. My name is Dobie Maxwell, the king of Uranus. Not the Duke, not the Earl, the king. This is Carrie right here. This is Greg McGuire right there. You're you where you are. Join us. Interact with us. We are on the internet now. We're flying in your area. Join us. We'll be back again next time.